Hey, how we doing, patrons? Welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room for a live drum session. How we doing, guys, tonight? We have a few people hanging out in the chat already. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. Really appreciate it. This is really my my opportunity for you guys to thank you for the support and everything that you've done for me in the channel and all that. And I can't say enough about the support and everything. And you guys even being on my regular live streams. My plan is to definitely do a lot more of these drum sessions with you guys and even film some kind of quick review videos for you guys that are only exclusive on Patreon. So yeah, just trying to kind of do some more stuff for you guys. Already in the chat, we have Chad Holly was here, Karen B. Ford, Brandon Weiss is here, Stellar Matrix, a recent new patron. So everyone welcome Stellar. Robert K. Metz, DJ Beacon. Hey, Neil from the Bourbon Buddies is here. Awesome. I also see Mose Chun is here, Joseph Brazo. What's going on, buddy? Nick Sangatsis is here. He says he's not drinking tonight. He's got to get up a little early. Awesome. So the reason why I want to do this tonight, guys, is because I figured it'd be kind of a good lead up to what's their names? Oh my God, I'm having a serious brain fart right now. The Bourbon Junkies. Yeah, that's them. So, and also when I went to the store today, I actually found just kind of sitting that had just come in is the brand new Booker's batch. So this is Booker's, the third release. It's the 2019-03, and it's called Booker's Country Ham. So there is kind of a close-up of the label. Let's see if it'll focus there for you guys. Move my face out of the way. There it goes. Yeah, so Country Ham, which is, this comes in at 62.35%. or 124.7 proof. This is 6 years, 4 months, 2 days old. Very much in line with what you can expect from a Booker's. Let's see. Ben Lagar is here. How you doing? Rick Haskew is here. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Christine Daisy's here. How you doing, Christine? Let's see. Everyone needs some ham. Bart Beckman's in the house. How you doing, Bart? Nice to see you, buddy. Oh, got 19 patrons, 19 amazing patrons in the house tonight. Thanks for coming in, guys, and hanging out. So what I want to do tonight, since I was such a huge fan of the Shiny Barrel batch, I wanted to crack this open. I'm going to do a full review on this, but you guys being my patrons, I wanted to kind of give a quick first impression, let you guys know what I think of this one right away. So I'm going to open this and let all the wax fly into my eyeballs real quick. Also tonight, it's kind of your opportunity to kind of, it's a little bit more laid back, and it's not very, I don't have like segments like I do for my regular live streams. This is really your opportunity to kind of connect with me and, ask me any questions you want, give me any suggestions that you would like to see for upcoming videos, anything that you want to see as far as anything being reviewed. Yeah, we can just kind of hang out, sit back, chill out in the whiskey room tonight. I'm looking at the chat here. Good evening. The Bourbon Buddy said he just ate ham as well. Bourbon Buddies is pumped for country ham. Hey, William Davilar's in the house. How you doing, William? Thanks for coming in tonight. All right, so I'm going to pour a little bit of this country ham. I'll give you the little bit of the story and the background here too, guys. I'm going to pour this and let it open up a little bit. Joseph Braza says, get rid of that fucking hat. Yeah, sorry, man. Listen, I'm actually not really an Ohio State fan. My favorite color happens to be red. So I do wear Ohio State stuff. So when I moved here, and I think I might have said this before, when I moved here, this was a hat that was given to me by my coworkers. It's like, okay, you live in Columbus now. You need to start wearing the scarlet and gray. So I was like, all right, well, I like red, but yeah, I'm not really an Ohio State fan, but I know a lot of people have hatred for them, just crazy. Ohio State's like a religion here amongst the people that live here. So I did learn that very, very early on when I moved here. And also I realized kind of the reach of Ohio State too, which was kind of weird. And not just people that are pro Ohio State, but people that are against Ohio State. I was in Canada and I was wearing this hat and somebody yelled OH. And if you're not from Ohio or a Buckeye fan, you're supposed to yell IO. And I had no idea that was the case yet. So somebody yelled OH and I was like, yeah, cool. Like I didn't know what to say. I was such an idiot. But on the other side, I've gotten people that have come through and been like, Ohio State sucks because they're all Michigan fans or Wisconsin fans, Oklahoma. I mean, it's crazy. Robert K. Metz, Boiler Up. Yeah, even Purdue Boilermakers, man. It's crazy. Robert K. Metz, Jason, where is your Turn Your Frown Upside Down t-shirt? I don't have that one. Brandon Weiss says, the Master and Drum, what do you do with your Booker's boxes? Laugh a lot. I really don't want to throw them away, but not sure what to do with them. I actually use them as sometimes, not all of them. Some I use as tasters. So what I'll do is I'll line up a bunch of glasses in here and I'll give them to people when I do tastings, which is kind of cool. And kind of the most quintessential Italian crap I do with this thing is I actually fill it with dirt and I grow basil or something else out of it. Actually works pretty good. Joseph Brazos says go blue, so he's a Michigan fan. DJ Beacon, my wife hates the Ohio State ever since Woody Hayes punched a Clemson football player 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, man, the hate runs deep. I get it. Hey, Robot Scott's in the house. How you doing, Robot Scott? Thanks for coming in tonight. Booker's basil. Exactly. All right, guys. So I'm going to read you a little story. This is the backstory for the new country ham from Booker's, or I keep saying just country ham. It's actually named Booker's Country Ham. And I love with these backstories, you really learn a little bit something about Booker No each time, about their family and probably how fun it was to grow up in that family. Also probably a lot of work too. I'll try to kind of paraphrase. I won't read it word for word. But obviously these are all from Fred No. He kind of scripts these out and kind of writes the story to kind of let you know what the backstory is about. So country ham, my dad, Booker No, enjoyed the art of curing and tasting. So country hams almost as much as he enjoyed his country hams almost as he enjoyed his bourbon. It was one of his favorite things. So he writes, some say my dad's love of country ham was inherited alongside his love for distilling. My great-grandfather, Jim Beam, would hang and age ham inside his own smokehouse in the backyard, which still stands today. When Dad later moved into Jim Beam's house, he followed suit. He would hang up to 50 country hams from the rafters of the smokehouse at each time, smoke them for a few days, wrap them up in newspaper, and let the curing magic carry on for 1 year to 18 months. He was so passionate about his ham that he was known to keep one in the trunk of his car. Once he even brought a ham into his fine dining restaurant to show the chef what real Kentucky country ham should taste like. It goes on to say that he liked to taste his ham with some bourbon, bourbon neat, country ham paired only with a cracker or a biscuit. So as you're getting ready for the fall season, take a note from Booker and try a nice ham alongside a glass of this Booker's bourbon. You won't regret it. So kind of a cool story. Stellar Matrix says, sock drawer organizer, Booker's box. Yes, absolutely. That's a really good idea too, Stellar. Let's see. Make a cocktail smoker box out of it. Hey, Captain Make It Happen made it. How you doing, buddy? It's so let's go through the breakdown. So again, this is more of a simpler breakdown in this one. Just like if you compare it to Shiny Barrel Batch. Shiny Barrel Batch was three locations, and this one is the same. This one is 51% came from the 7th floor of a 9-story warehouse H. Only 5% came from the 3rd floor of 7-story warehouse P, and 44% came from the 4th floor of 7-story warehouse P. So I mean, I remember some of the ones last year. I mean, the where they batched it, the length was really long, but the last two have only have 3 locations. I'm not even putting Teresa's batch in this this matchup because I really dislike that batch. I'm gonna pour a little shiny barrel batch out too, so we can do a quick comparison for you guys. I also have some other bottles in here that I'm going to be kind of giving you guys some quick one-off reviews as well. Robot Scott is using them for building blocks. Cool. Joseph Brazo, my problem is too many cigar boxes. DJ Beacon at current pricing over $80. I think this will be my first, last, and only Booker's box. Yeah, I see a lot of people feeling that way. Steven Sussman says, I use my Bookers as wall decorations. Just take apart the box. Oh, that's a good idea. The Bourbon Buddies, Teresa's patch can suck it. All right, so here is the Booker's Country Ham. Let's go into the to the nose and see what we get here. Whew, that has some alcohol on it. And get a little bit more water in here. Not water, some air. Whew, that really stung the nostrils there. I went a little too deep at first. Well, there we go. All right, so right off the bat, typical, very strong vanilla caramel notes here. There's a good amount of a smoke influence in this one. I got a touch of smoke in the shiny barrel batch, but this one seems to have a little bit more, and maybe that was on purpose since it's kind of named after, you know, smoking hams. A little bit of a chocolate characteristic in here. Definitely, you still get that bean type roasted peanut characteristic. A little bit of but these are like cinnamon toasted peanuts. Actually, I think I'm getting a little bit more of a cinnamon characteristic in here. Let me see. So yeah, there was 3. Yeah, 3 barrels. Definitely strong vanilla caramel, but I think the smoke and the cinnamon is what's kind of giving us a little bit more of a differentiator here. A little bit of maple too. That's what she said. Yeah, this definitely stung the nostrils a little bit. All right, let's go in for the sip of the country ham and see what we get here. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight on this Patreon-only live stream. Take care. Here we go. Oh, that's really rich. That's a really rich bourbon right there. A ton going on in the palate on this one. Man, the finish, definitely. I mean, the finish is like vanilla extract. All right, that was my first sip. Let me go in for a second sip. Let's see what we get here. Oh, wow. That second sip was a ton of almond, like a lot of almonds and vanilla. That's really nice. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to kind of like deconstruct what I'm tasting here. Vanillas, caramels, definitely a good amount of that nutty characteristic, but it's coming through as like a sweet almond. Definitely getting some cinnamon. This is one of the more mouth-coating Bookers I've had in a while. This one's really sticking. Yeah, great color. Let's if you guys want to see close up of the color here. There's the color of it right here. So typical Booker's deep dark copper, nice kind of a maple syrupy characteristic too. There is some maple going on here too a little bit. Man, this one is dangerous because yeah, it is high proof, but it's finishing so sweet. I mean, it's tingling a little bit, but man, the intense caramel vanilla notes here and that almond characteristic, a little bit of honey, that cinnamon. This one's really good. I'm liking that one. All right, I'm going to let that open up. I want to compare it to the Shiny Barrel Batch a little bit. Jeff Perkins, I appreciate it when you compare the harder to get bourbons with those that are more accessible. I believe it was the Old Forester birthday compared to the OF 1920. Yeah, that's definitely something I like to do. Oh, Steven Sussman, I don't think I saw you yet. How you doing, buddy? I feel like to kind of add that to the channel was important for me because you get a lot of people that, you review some of these bottles that are really hard to get. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't get this. I can't get this. So I feel like adding that to some of the reviews for those harder to find bottles is definitely helpful. Yeah, I mean, birthday bourbons, they can be pretty hit or miss, especially the older ones. Last year's was phenomenal. And from what I heard, this year's is pretty phenomenal as well. I am planning on getting one. I do have one coming to me, I think. So I'm getting pretty lucky on getting a birthday bourbon. But whether I do or I don't, if I happen to get one, you'll definitely be damn sure that I'm going to compare it to some easier to find bourbons. But, you kind of have to keep it in the Brown-Forman family. Brown-Forman to me has such a distinct oak profile that you can only really compare it with another Brown-Forman product, whether it be the 1920, even the signature sometimes, which you can compare it to as well. Karen Ford says, sounds really good. I think it's rare to get almond. Love it when I do. Robert K. Metz, like Knob Creek single barrel, high proof, but crazy smooth. Yeah. It really is. It's not finishing with that Booker's harshness. It's really finishing kind of soft. It's really nice. I'm going to compare it now to Shiny Barrel Batch. So for the comparison, guys, the Shiny Barrel came in at 124 even. The Booker's Country Ham is at 124.7, so it's really close. The Shiny Barrel is 6 years, 5 months, 1 day, and the Booker's Country Ham is 6 years, 4 months, and 2 days. So, all right. So when you compare them on the nose, the Country Ham, hands down, it's just richer and fuller. There's something about this batch that has a just such a rich characteristic to it. It just seems like it's loaded with brown sugar and caramels and vanillas. I mean, listen, Booker's, as flavorful as it is, it's a very straightforward bourbon. To me, there's never a ton of complexity. You're going to get those quintessential flavors, but there's usually 2 or 3 in each batch that make it unique. But this one is just extremely rich to me. Yeah, the Shiny Barrel Batch is a little bit brighter. It's a little bit more fruity on the nose than the Booker's Country Ham. Again, peanut, caramel, vanilla, typical Booker's stuff. A little bit more of a fruit characteristic, like I think. And what did I say? I said there was a little bit of a smoke characteristic earlier. I'm getting that more in the Country Ham, though. But yeah, this one is just richer and fuller. God, it's just so vanilla forward. It's like just a vanilla bomb. It's really nice. Let me take a quick sip of water, then I'm going to go to the Shiny Barrel Batch and then come back. Steven Sussman, you say oak, but all I get is Brown-Forman banana. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot more lately, and it's something I've been trying to tune my brain into a little bit more for the banana flavor to it. And I do get it sometimes. Usually banana is something I pick up pretty, I don't know, maybe it's just something like in my brain where I just think it's like the Brown-Forman oak, but maybe it is a banana type aspect to it. But yeah, it's I get that. DJ Beacon, yeah, you guys are getting a live double bass right now. Robert K. Metz, Jason, do you think your palate has changed since introducing Scotch into the stable? I know mine has. Absolutely, Robert, definitely. I am picking up more flavors. I have picked up more. I actually realized it, speaking of Old Forester, I actually realized it the first time I had the Old Forester rye. And if you guys don't know, Old Forester rye is, obviously it's a predominantly rye, but the second dominant grain is malted barley. And the third grain is corn. So it was surprising to me how easily it was for me to pick up that malted barley influence in there, aside from the rye and the corn. I got a lot of unique type of flavors that I was getting trying different scotches, and the lemon and that kind of like burnt toast characteristic, or light toast, I would say more in the rye. More of the older scotches, it comes off to me more as like a burnt toast. But yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why I love getting into scotch now. Getting used to peat, I think, has also helped my palate a little bit. It's only made my palate more sensitive to other flavors, especially if I'm drinking scotch one day, or like for a full week, if I'm doing like a thing of scotches and then I switch back to bourbon, then there's just different flavors that I would not pick up if it wasn't for that. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as far as nose goes, uh, yeah, as far as nose goes, the Booker's Country Ham definitely wins that one. Not by like a ton, but definitely it just smells richer and fuller. Now, obviously, this is a first pour. It could change with a little bit of air, so we'll see how it goes. But right now, off the bat, it's really rich and full and just an absolute vanilla bomb. So let's go into the shiny barrel batch here. Yeah. All right, so shiny barrel batch is definitely a little bit fruitier here on the palate. And again, that could have changed with a little bit of air in there. It's just really very peanutty, honey forward, a little bit of little maple syrup in there, I would think too. You still get a little bit of that smoke, but you feel more of the burn on this one, on the shiny barrel batch. I feel like the country ham one is just finishing a little bit too dangerously smooth right now, which is making me want to go back to it. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to try this next to some ham. Might be really good. Shiny barrel batch. This was definitely leaps and bounds way over the Teresa's batch. This is like back to a good Booker's profile with a little bit of fruit mixed in. Not as much as the fruit characteristic that was in the Kathleen's batch to me from last year. It was just like a fruit explosion. I wouldn't say it's as much as that, even with some air in it, but still very, very good batch. Let me go back to the Booker's Country Ham here. Yeah, that Booker's Country Ham is really, really good. It is smoky, super, super sweet. It's dangerously easy on the finish. I don't know if it's my palate, but well, there is a tingling sensation now I'm getting now. Okay. So it's not like, super easy, but you would think with all that flavor, it would just come through a little bit more harsh, but this is a really very full, very rich in flavor. I can't wait to kind of sit with this the next day or so and do the full review. But right now, for you guys, this is a really good batch. The vanilla and the caramels and everything exploding out of this glass and how mouth coating it is. This reminds me of somewhere in between like a Stag Junior and a Booker's. Like if you blended them together, you get kind of like a Rick House type. You get like this Rick House type scent and influence and smoke and age. And then on top of that, there's like this intense vanilla that kind of comes through, and I keep getting it every sip. Crazy, man. All right. Next. Yeah, Robert, I'm going to add a little water, see what it does. Proof on the country ham, Steven, is 124.7. Robert K. met some Blendigeddon. Hey, Carl Ivy's in the house. How you doing, Carl? Thanks for coming in. Yep. All right. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to the to this and see what happens. Just going to drop a little here. I'll just pour a touch in here. Okay. Just see if water does anything to it. Get some air in there. All right, yeah, the water actually made the nose a little bit brighter. Now it actually became a little bit similar to the shiny barrel batch now. Actually, yeah, the shiny barrel batch still has a little bit more of a kind of like a green oak influence to it. A little bit like of a must, I should say. But if anything, that brought out more caramel in this. I mean, the vanilla was really overpowering, but now the caramel sense I'm getting in this, I think the water might have definitely opened it up a little bit, might have helped it. Still getting a little bit of a chocolate note now, too, man. The water, I think, brought out more of that chocolate effect. Chocolate, cinnamon. I mean, don't get me wrong, that vanilla is still there. You know, I really like it with a couple drops of water. That's good. That's really, really good. That's a super impressive batch. I'm glad I got it. I like that one. If you guys see this Booker's Country Ham, man, grab it. I think you'll be impressed. It's good. If you're like one of those, if you're kind of on the fence about, you know, really selective about picking a Booker's batch, I do not think you'll be disappointed in this one. It's a really good Booker's batch. Man, staying pretty consistent too. I would actually like to put this against my Sip a While, which was one of my favorites too. All right, I'll have to do that another time, but yeah. Does the Booker's Country Ham have any nuttiness? Yes, Mose. Almonds though. For me, it's an almond kind of a, I don't want to say marzipan, but it's more of like a fresh. If you ever go to like a fair and get like the toasted, like cinnamon nuts or cinnamon almonds, then that's what it kind of tastes like. It goes away a little bit if you add a little bit of water. I kind of like it a little bit better neat, but the water definitely brings out a little bit some other flavors here. DJ Beacon says kitchen table. You know what? I wouldn't really be a fair comparison. My kitchen table bottle is like down to this. So it's got a ton of air in it. I would think just off that, the Country Ham would probably be a little bit better than that. But as far as if you're looking, kitchen table for me was, my favorite from last year. And this is pretty damn close, if not better. I mean, this so far, this is really good. I'm really impressed with this one. It's just got such a richness to it. See the shiny barrel batch now that it's open a little bit, it's turning into like that peanut butter characteristic. It's definitely peanutty, like a peanut brittle. I remember saying that in my review, and it's still holding true. Whereas this, you're getting peanut, but it's mixed in with like this intense vanilla, caramel, almond, cinnamon type aspect to it, and a little bit of smoke too. So if you like peanut buttery type bourbons, definitely shiny barrel batches for you. But the intensity and the richness of this one, of the Country Ham, I like better. And why is it so easy? Oh, well, I did add water to it. I'm like, why is it so easy to sip? I'm curious when you guys, if any of you guys out there get this, let me know and see if you find it as easy to sip as I am, because it's ridiculous. That's for 124.7 proof bourbon. That should not be that easy to sip. It is incredibly smooth and sweet and really good. Okay. So yeah, I did want to bring up Blend Again to you guys. I did make a post on the Patreon page, and I did announce it in my last live stream last week. So I hope you guys are working on some blends. Like I said, it's going to be 2 categories. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Let's see. The match Bourbon Buddies asked, how does it compare to Kathleen's batch? I would say totally different. Kathleen's batch to me was more of a fruit bomb, which was one of my favorites last year too. So if you like a fruitier characteristic, then the Kathleen's batch I think would win. But if you want something a little bit richer and a complete vanilla almond type intensity to it, then definitely check out the Country Ham. All right, let me reply here. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Robert K. Metz, Jason, is it really good that you could get 3 bottles of? Is it really good that you could get 3 bottles of Knob Creek single barrel? So, meaning, is it good enough? So are you saying, like, is it better just to buy 3 bottles of single barrel rather than the Bookers? If that's what you're asking, I don't know. Like, the single barrels, I think, are still one of the best buys in bourbon, especially some of the picks that come in about 13, 14, 15 years old. And given that they're already 9 years old and a little bit, older, they're already older than the Bookers, right off the shelf for $40. I think it's hard to beat. But the thing is that the Bookers, and this is what I always try to explain to people, because Booker's does have a good amount of an oak influence to it, but the Knob Creek single barrel to me has it's more balanced. It's got really nice oak flavors, but also has those sweet flavors and the nuttiness that you like from a Knob Creek. So you can really never go wrong. But it's really the way it's aged. Booker's, like they say, it's in that center cut of the warehouse. It's a higher proof. So either way you slice it, you're getting more intense flavor. I always tell people now, whenever it comes to Bookers, because there have been some stinker, batches, to always try them if you can, or, trust a person like me to tell you if it sucks or not. That's why I was very, very adamant about do not buy Teresa's batch. Just skip it, please. Shiny Barrel batch, I think, has its place, especially if you like a more of a peanut butter forward bourbon. If you're into like Willet bourbons that are really peanut buttery type flavor profiles, then you would really love the Shiny Barrel batch. But this Booker's Country Ham is just really intense, and that type of a vanilla bomb characteristic is something that I've only gotten in a couple of Knob Creek picks. So it's really what's up to your liking. DJ Beacon, speaking of peanut butter, sipping on the old Ezra 117 barrel strength. Yeah, that definitely gets very peanut buttery. Absolutely. Well, that's I believe don't they? Maybe they don't. I'm trying to remember. Oh no, I'm thinking of the what's the one that they source from Heaven Hill? Do they source from Old Ezra from Heaven Hill? I can't remember. I know they source Rebel Yell from Heaven Hill, but Old Ezra 7, yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a peanut. Karen B. Ford, this one sounds wonderful. Thanks for the great review. Yeah, I'm glad I could do this with you guys. I have a couple more stuff that I'm going to open with you guys. Do some more quick reviews here. Steven Sussman, I want to get the 9-year small batch new label to the old one whenever it comes out. Not that I think there will be a difference. Well, being single barrels, we're going to get a little bit of variation there, but I can understand why you'd want to get it. Captain Make It Happen sends right up my alley. Yeah, it's really good, man. I love it. I'm going to obviously give this some time to open up, and before I do the full review, which will probably be my next video. So, yeah, that'll be fun. All right, let's get into another bourbon here. I'll drink some water. And this one is going to be the brand new Boone County small batch. So this is, let me see here. So this is Boone County's own distillate that they released at their distillery not that long ago. Boone County is very well known. I mean, if you see their stuff on the secondary, they make the, they have the 1833 Ghost, which is actually really good stuff. They had a 10-year, now they have a 12-year. They have single barrels as old as 12, 13, sometimes 14, 15 years. Most of that stuff is sourced. This is their first batch from their own distillate. So I want to thank iWhiskey She Wines. I was able to go down the road. They live really close to it, grab me a bottle. I think they reviewed it and they weren't that crazy about it. So let's crack it open and see what we think about this one. Here we go. All right, here we go. Luxco from Heaven Hill for the OE117. Thanks, DJ. Okay. Love that bottle. Hey, all. Hey, what's up, Jim Shannon? Thanks for coming in, buddy. And guys, if you haven't listened to the Bourbon Road podcast, it's a must. Go check out Jim Shannon on the Bourbon Road with his friend Randy. I love those two guys, man. We had a lot of fun when we did ours. So you guys can go search the Bourbon Road and go look for the one of the episodes we did. It was me, Scott from My Bourbon Journey, and Dan the Man, Dusty Dan. We all did a blind bottle share together. It was friggin' epic. That was an epic night. All right, so this is the Boone County. So as far as stats go, guys, this is 90.8 proof. They still have it made by Ghosts. Let me try to get a good angle for you guys here so you can see it. There it goes, made by Ghosts. Gives you the whole story back there. This is produced by Boone County. And let me see if it has anything about the mash bill here. Nope, doesn't say really anything, but I would imagine it's a pretty usual mash bill. So, all right, let's get into the Boone County and see what we get here on the nose. Doesn't say anything about age. I would imagine this stuff's pretty young though. Yeah, it smells young on the nose. A little bit grainy, very corn forward. There's definitely a little bit of a bitter barrel aspect to it a little bit. Steven Sussman says, I have a 10-year-old, but definitely not paying secondary for those old picks. Yeah, I'm with you. Some people go crazy for those MGP picks, man. They pay big dollars for them. Karen B. Ford, great that you are doing this one. I had it in hand today and put it back. Now I'll have info on it. Cap and make it happen. You going to crack a special Texas, perhaps? Yes, sir. I'll give you my thoughts on the Balcones French Oak. And my last bottle of the night will be this Witherspoon. I'm going to crack open with you guys. So I love the bottle of this one. Look at this thing. That is a bottle. Everything is bigger in Texas. Look at that thing. Woo, love that bottle. So if you guys have any questions, any more questions, about the channel or anything, even personally about me, this is your time to kind of connect with me here on this live stream, and we could chat. So it smells a little young on the nose. It's very grainy, very kind of corn forward here. There is some good oak influence. Good amount of vanilla on here. Not too much caramel though. It's very oaky on the nose. A little bit of a maple characteristic. There's some baking spices in there too. Yeah, I mean, a decent nose. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Steven Sussman says, I love French oak anything. That stuff is amazing. Yeah. I've only had that sample of it, so I cannot wait to try this stuff. Joseph Brazo's going change of plans. He's going with the Kentucky Chew. Yes. That's a great batch from last year, Joseph. That's the that one was like maple syrup and waffles. The Bourbon Buddy, is that the Master Drum? What was the first song you learned on the drums? Oh, that's a good question. The first segment I learned was actually playing Wipeout, which I think is like the first thing that most drummers learn, like the or like the Wipeout, the Wipeout song. But the first full song I ever learned was oh god, I gotta really think back. Actually, I can tell you what it is. I just remember what the hell it was because I remember playing it for the first time. It was AC/DC Thunderstruck. That was my first song I ever learned. Like full song. Or was it Shook Me All Night Long? It was one of those. It was an AC/DC song. I'm trying to think of which of the two were. But, you know, AC/DC are very straightforward rock. So I think that was kind of the first one I learned. And after I got a little bit better at drums, I just kind of realized like, okay, well, it's fun to play those every now and then, but it's very just straightforward rock. So then I kind of moved into Rush and some other groups. Yeah, it's got like the Boone County has a grassy note to it. So it's definitely younger. A lot of corn on the nose, some vanillas. It's not deep. It's not rich. So let's see what it is on the palate here. Here we go, guys. Yeah, it needs more time. That's the nicest way I could be for this one. It needs more time. It's grassy. It's very, very grassy. It's got a bitter, grassy oak note to it, and not in a good way. There is something there, though. I think there's a good backbone there of sweetness, but I think it's just a little too young here. So, Karen, save your money. Yeah, that's, you know, the front of the palate isn't bad. You get your typical nice bourbon notes. Still saying it's still a little bit young though. It's not very intense. It's very corn grain forward. But what the hell is that on the back end that I'm getting? Yeah, it's just. Oh, what the hell is that? It does. It tastes like grassy, like fresh cut lawn. Does that make sense? You guys ever gotten that in a bourbon where it just tastes like a fresh cut lawn type smell? Very strange. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of like a marshmallow aspect to it, but yeah, no. For $50, I'd rather get Russell's Reserve single barrel, or I'll rather spend 10 more and get the Old Forester 1920. So that's probably a skip. Given more time, I think this shows way more promise than the infamous Jephthah Creed. But yeah, just give this some more time. I think this is gonna go somewhere way better than it is right now. But this one to me, I would put in the don't buy now, but promising for the future category. Okay, let's see here, guys. Here we go. First song, nice. Jason, any thoughts of a local meet and greet fans for the Mash and Drum? I am thinking about it. I'm just trying to think of like the best place to do it. I'm definitely going to be doing a meet and greet over at in Texas for the Bastards Ball in October. I think that's the meet and greet's happening on Friday night, I believe. But as far as a personal one, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out kind of the best place to do it, where we could do it. I might center it around an event if it's like Bourbon and Beyond or something like that, to do it at, where I could kind of get with all of you and the patrons and the viewers. It'd be a lot of fun. Steven Sussman, Jason, what do you hope for with the direction of your channel? Steven Sussman, I just really want it to grow. I really want to be, for me, my goal is to just be like it has nothing to do with growth or money or anything like that. I want to be looked at by outsiders as one of the most trusted bourbon channels on YouTube, giving really honest, really informative reviews as far as not only information and history, but kind of the experience of when you're tasting something. That's really all my goal is. You know, the subscribers and the the support from you guys is unbelievable and more than I could have ever hoped for. But when it comes to just an overall channel, I just really want to be looked at as someone that's like a trustworthy person to go to when you're looking at, in the world of bourbon. And I've always really felt that way. So as long as I can keep growing the channel and kind of giving bourbon and other whiskeys the honesty it deserves, then I'm pretty happy with that. And all the growth and everything will kind of follow afterwards. But honestly, my goal is to have distilleries, which is starting to happen somewhat. Some distilleries kind of see me as a go-to for someone that's going to offer you a good review or honest review. So I'm hoping, I've kind of submitted myself to Buffalo Trace, Old Forester, Heaven Hill, a couple of others to, send me some like cool media samples as far as getting out there, like first impressions of special releases or anything new that's coming out. So I've got on the list of a couple of them, so I'm hoping that's where it keeps going. Joseph Brazo, why no love for Roger Taylor on the new shirt? Oh, good question. That's all I was getting on the comments is like, why didn't you add this guy? Why don't you add this guy? I could literally do 20 shirts, Joseph, on different drummers that I could put on there, and I probably will. So, Roger Taylor I thought about, but in the beginning, I wanted to put kind of the most famous drummers that inspired me and also ones that are also probably the most well-known. Roger Taylor is very well-known, but I just, I'll probably have a second version of that shirt and his name will definitely be on it. So keep an eye out. Let's see. Jason went, okay, that's good. Let's see. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Karen B. Ford. She's a little gunshot in the Jep to purchase. Yes, William, I am going to the Bastards Ball. Carl Ivy drinking some Johnny Drum. That is really good. That's a sweet, another type of like a peanut buttery, nutty bourbon coming out of Willet. So I like that one. Robot Scott, there's a meetup on Friday. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what's happening. Probably more details to come from the Bastards Ball on that. Stellar Matrix, Jason, would you be up to trying the Rocktown Peated? I'm bringing a bottle to Matt's in October. Absolutely. That's one that I can't get in Ohio, so I would definitely love to try that. Robert K. Metz, the Roy from Aquavite of Columbus. Yeah, man, if I could get anywhere near the level of Roy and his trustworthiness, then yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. That Bourbon Basics video from last week should make you famous. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm very proud of that video. So I'm glad everyone that's watched it, I've gotten really incredible feedback on it. So yeah, if you guys know anyone that's getting into bourbon and want to try to get into bourbon, definitely share that video. Ben Lagar says, Jason, my ancestors are from Sicily. What about you? My family is from a little town called Satriano, which is, if you're looking at the boot of Italy, that's kind of like the ankle of the boot. So that's where my family's from. It's a small town in Sicily, and it's in Calabria. So we're Calabrese. So that's where my family's from. What's up, Rare Bird? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in, David. David, everybody. Say hi to David Jennings. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Joseph Brazo, hi. Rare Dave. Bye, Rare Dave. Steve A is in the house. How you doing? Finally made it home. Just got done grabbing dinner and exchanging bottles with your dog. Oh, Jason. He saw Jason Coates. Very cool. That's awesome. Sorry, guys. I'm just going through the chat here. I could see the chat here in this new StreamYard, but it doesn't always light up here. Let's see. All right, so let's get into the next one. The next one I'm going to crack open here, and that is the Balcones French Oak. So let's get into it, guys. I cannot wait to try this. So good. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to go back to the Country Ham real quick. Yeah. That's still, guys, Country Ham, do it. Do it. Get it. Oh, my God. It's so good. This tastes older than 6 years old. It tastes way older than that. The oak flavor profile and the richness in here tastes like it's way older. Yeah. If you're a Booker's fan, do not skip the Country Ham. All right, guys. Balcones French Oak time. Evolution of a tradition. French oak is an elegant take on our Texas single malt made from classic ingredients matured in French oak casks. The French oak cask highlights delicate aromas of stone fruit, clove, and thyme. The palate is rich with notes of baked fruit, malt, and dark chocolate. I do remember dark chocolate from the first time I tasted it, so let's give it a pour, guys. I saved my special mash and drum glass for this one. My goodness, look how dark that is. It looks like chocolate in the glass. Look at this, guys. Look how dark that is. That might be darker than the Booker's. It is darker than the Booker's. I know I added a little water to this, but so that's the Booker's. And then that's the French Oak. Isn't that crazy? Texas whiskey, man. All right. Here we go. Rick Askew. Hey, I have the 2016, 2017, 2018 birthday bourbon. Any reviews or thoughts? Rick Askew, 2016, did not like. 2017, pretty good. 2018, I loved. So those would be my quick reviews for you. Joseph Brazo, you have to see Joseph, man. Me and you we're right here, Joseph. That is my favorite too, the Sip a While. I think I have a Sip a While somewhere. Where is it? That's Tommy's batch up there. Is that a Sip a While? What the hell is it? Hold on one second. Let me see if this is a Sip a While. Oh, this is a Sip a While. Should I open it? Should I compare it? I'll let you guys vote. I know what the vote's going to be, but I have a Sip a While right here. All right. You'll probably need a Friday night YouTuber sub meetup. Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, we're all going to be at the La Quinta that weekend, so you could probably go in there and meet everybody. Carl Ivy. What's the proof? I have last year's at 59.9. So the French Oak, this one came in at 61.9. So a little bit higher. Do it. Yes, open it, bud. Let's do it. Yes, open it. Yes, Sip a While is great. I open everything, so yeah, open it. Okay. All right. After the French Oak, we'll crack open the Sip a While, and that should be a good roundup leading into the Bourbon Junkies. Steve A says La Quinta will be legendary. Yes, it will. All right, so French Oak right off the bat here, guys. Like I said, this is 61.9% ABV. You definitely get that Texas malt flavor characteristic on here. So this is more of like the burnt toast that I really like. Definitely still a lot of chocolate, a lot of fruit. Definitely clove, cinnamon. There's that French Oak spice that is just so good, which I love on French Oak. The French Oak finished whiskeys. There's kind of an herbal quality to it as well. I know this one says thyme, but I'm getting more of like a basil characteristic, maybe because I'm Italian. I just tend to smell basil easier. Just being honest. Man, that's good on the nose. This has everything you like about the Balcones single malt, but just another explosion, another layer of flavor on top of it. Chocolate, fruit, somehow like a basil characteristic. Definitely some cinnamon, some baking spices. Let's go for a sip, guys. Cheers. Oh, man. That is so good. Wow, that basil characteristic carried through on the finish. That's something I don't remember from the last one. Man, it's just so unique. So think like malted barley, like burnt toast, maybe drizzled with chocolate, like a breakfast chocolate toast, cinnamon toast. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make you guys hungry right now. I don't know how appetizing this is, but this is what it tastes like to me. So cinnamon toast, cinnamon raisin toast, drizzled with like some chocolate and drizzled with like basil leaves. That's what I'm tasting in here. And maybe with some like some like dark fruits on top, maybe blueberry, strawberry, maybe a raisin. Wow. I was really impressed with that when I got the sample from Josh over at Cast Strength, but this is just, I'm going to enjoy that bottle. All right. Hey, Scotty from My Bourbon Journey is in here. He said slacker. What's up, Scotty? Yeah, if any of you guys are near Texas, or I think this is a Texas only release, unfortunately. What's crazy is this is non-chill filtered, which makes sense, but this is also non-colored. I mean, and just look how dark that is. It's insane. Man, that's really good. All right, guys, so that's the best way I could describe it. Cinnamon toast, cinnamon raisin toast, drizzled with chocolate, and topped with some basil and some like raisins, dark fruits. Oh my God. That thing is all over the place. That's really good. It is. It's crazy dark, Scotty. I mean, if you just look at the stuff in the bottle, I mean, look how dark that is. That's nuts. It's like black. And I love this label on it. I mean, it really makes it look like it's got like this elegant, almost a kind of a high grade or a luxury whiskey type aspect to it with the black and the gold. Really nice. Captain, make it happen. Yep, you still got it. Hungry as fuck now. Sorry, buddy. All right, guys, let's go to the ultimate showdown here. Let's go to the we're going to compare. So if any of you, so Scott, I know Scott just jumped in. I just cracked open the brand new Booker's batch, Booker's Country Ham. This is the third release this year, the 2019-03. And it's really, really good. So what I'm going to do is compare it to Booker's Sip a While. I have two of these in the hole because they're so good. So I'm going to open one of them here. All right. So let's see which one comes out on top here. I'm really curious about these two because this freaking Booker's Country Ham is really good. All right. Let me pour that in here. And let's get some fresh country ham in the glass. I'm going to have like wax and freaking Booker's stuff everywhere right now. Oh my God, this one is making a mess. In the face. Okay. Michael Hassett is at the Ted Nugent concert. That's freaking legendary, man. Hope you're having a good time, Michael. Oh, good pop on the and this will be a pretty fair contest because this is a new bottle and so is the Country Ham. So let's get some let's get that in the glass here too. All right. All right, guys. So it's Sip a While, which is my favorite from the last few years. So here are the stats on Sip a While, in case you guys don't know. This is from 2017-04. So this is the last release from 2017. This is 128.1 proof. This is 6 years, 8 months, and 4 days, compared to 6 years, 4 months, and 2 days. So let's see which one comes out on top here. Joseph Brazo says Knob Creek wax is even worse. It really is, man. That stuff just gets all over the place. I actually open those like over the trash can so it doesn't get everywhere. Jeff Perkins is like, all right, now compare your favorite Bookers with your favorite Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Dude, you guys are just trying to get me loaded tonight. As much as I enjoyed the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B519, which I thought was delicious, the C918 is still my favorite. Of the newer bottlings, obviously the older ones have some of my favorites too. I have the one, which one is up there? The one that's like close to Hazmat, the older bottle. That one's really good too. So, all right, here we go. So this is the Country Ham, and this is Sip a While. So Country Ham on the nose, staying very consistent. The Sip a While is very, very similar. Yeah, those two are really close on the nose. Both Big bursts of vanilla up front, very vanilla forward, a little bit of a smoke to it, a lot of caramel, dark brown sugars. I mean, that would be really hard to pick out. They're really close, which is awesome because I love the nose on Sip a While, and this one's really close. Man, just the intensity and the richness of both of these two bottles are really shining through here. All right, I'm going to taste the Sip a While first. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, so I could see why this would be a lot of favorites, including mine. Sip a While just has a richness to it that I am getting a little bit in this Booker's the country ham. It's just like richer and fuller, more mouth coating, cinnamon. Definitely a little bit more of that peanut characteristic in the Sip a While, but really, really super sweet. Let's go for another sip. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Yeah, Sip a While is still maintaining its title as one of my favorites. All right, let's take a sip of the country ham and do a quick comparison here. Wow. Sorry, guys, I'm processing this all because it's really remarkable. I'm telling you, this Booker's Country Ham, I might like a little better than this one. No joke. Yeah, the flavors in this are very equally rich. They're just slightly different. This one is an absolute vanilla, like an extract bomb from the Booker's Country Ham. There's a little bit more of a smokiness characteristic to it, but they're both equally super rich in flavor. If you're a fan of the Sip a While, Joseph Brazo, I know you are. This country ham, you're going to love this one. I'm telling you, no joke. Back to the Sip a While a little bit. Let me get a little water here. Proof in Sip a While is 128.1. So that's compared to the 124.7. So yeah, when you compare it, I mean, you could taste a little bit of proof here in the Sip a While. It definitely has a little bit more of a finish. It's a little bit more drying on the palate. Mm. Yeah, Sip a While too. Sip a While though to me has like this chocolate covered raspberry aspect to it that's just so good. I love it in the Sip a While, but it's also very cinnamon. You get the peanut, you get those really intense vanilla flavors. They are different. I will say they are different, but really the difference is what they do share in common is richness of flavor. There isn't any kind of an underlying bitter oak profile that sometimes you get in some of the Bookers. You get a little bit of it in the Shiny Barrel batch, but it comes through more as a peanut brittle. Whereas these are just super rich in flavor, very mouth coating, very rounded. This one I think is a little bit more fruity than this one, whereas this one is, like I said, is just an absolute vanilla caramel bomb with some smoke to it. These are both stellar. I'm going to have a hard time picking which one I like more, but I'm telling you guys, if you guys are fans of Booker's, you are going to love this third batch. This Booker's Country Ham is rich and full of flavor, mouth coating. You'll definitely love it. Really good. Yeah, dark and rich, absolutely. Oh, so Jeff Perkins is sipping on the C918. That's awesome. Love it, guys. All right, guys. So it's 9:04. I know I don't want to cut in if you guys are wanting to watch the Bourbon Junkies. You guys want to stay on like 5-10 more minutes before you jump over there? I wanted to open this one last bottle. What do you guys think? Or do you guys want to run over there? Joseph Brazo, well, crap. Like I need more bourbon. Good idea, Karen. I'm gonna take some of the Sip a While and some of the country ham. I'm gonna blend it together. This will be my last pour of the night. I'm gonna let that mingle and then do it. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll stick around for. I'm gonna do one last pour here. I have another Texas whiskey here that I got sent to me that I've been wanting to try. So this is a single barrel. And it's so this is from Witherspoon. This is Witherspoon whiskey in Texas. This is a bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon. This is 100 proof. It's a single barrel, so we'll see how this comes through. Let's see. This is a commemorative bottle. So this was bottled on April of 2019. Let's see. So this is named after Quentin Witherspoon. First learned how to make whiskey while serving in the Marines in Central Africa. Yes. I love that so many servicemen and servicewomen are getting into distilling whiskey and making great bourbon. I think it's awesome. After traveling around the globe, he settled back in Texas, where his family has lived for 5 generations, honoring tradition. Quentin makes his whiskeys to reflect the honest taste of a job well done. That is exactly what you'll savor in every drop of Witherspoon whiskey. So it does not have an age statement. I'm looking for one. I do not see one. But you think most Texas whiskeys, they're pretty young, but it kind of has to be in Texas. So Karen Board says, I will stay. Okay. Cap and make it happen. The Witherspoon single barrels are super hot and miss, so hopefully it's a good one. Okay. So let's see if John if he's what he says is correct. So let's see. Well, not a bad pop. Oh, it smells interesting on the cork. All right, last pour, guys. Any other questions, guys, before I kind of let this open up? Joseph Brazo, I ordered your Woodinville cask strength today. You have to send me a couple samples in exchange. Yeah, Joseph, absolutely. That's easy. Just let me know what you want to try, man. Thank you so much. Ben Lagar says Witherspoon is in Louisville, Texas. Okay, good to know. So this happens to be barrel number 1175, bottle number 98. So let me go here. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking this one up. All right. Ooh, so, John, you're right. This definitely comes in hot on the nose already. You can definitely smell the alcohol. There is that Texas funk to it, but it's very sweet. It's got a candy corn type scent to it. If you guys like those candy corns on Halloween. He also says the finished versions are honestly better out of the expressions I've had. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is super sweet on the nose. This is one of the more this is one of those Texas whiskeys where the sweetness is overpowering that Texas funk. And, I've said it before. I call the Texas whiskeys like a modern Dusty. It just has like a funk to it that just is different than, other whiskeys to try. Really good. All right, let's get to the palate here. This is, it's very sweet corn forward. So it would make me think it's a little bit on the younger side. You definitely get that alcohol. There's some kind of dark sugars in there too. A little bit of there's also a maple syrup characteristic here too, a little bit. And what is that? There's almost like a barbecue type aspect to it, like a smoky, like a sweet barbecue note to it that I'm getting. That's really interesting. It's very candy though. All right, let's go for a sip, guys. Here we go. Cheers. Mm. You know, I kind of like that. I'm gonna go for one more sip here. That's probably the most un-Texas funky bourbon out of Texas that I've tried. It's very, very sweet to me on the palate. It's not overly complex. It's definitely a little bit younger, but the one knock I would have on this for 100 proof bourbon, there's not a lot going on as far as like mouthfeel, but it's probably one of the sweetest Texas whiskeys I've had. It's super sweet. I mean, this is like very candy. At least this barrel is. It's really good. I could see someone really enjoying that one at 100 proof, and that's sweet. Yeah, I'm not hating on that at all. I kind of like this one. John, cap and make it happen. I don't know which barrels you've had, but this one has a really sweet characteristic to it. It's kind of nice. Again, not overly complex. It's probably a little bit younger, very corn, like candy corn forward. There's some vanilla and caramel aspect to it, as you would expect on a bourbon, but it's very, it's not super, you don't have like that super Texas funk to it. I definitely like the Balcones French oak that I tried has like a world of that. This one, I'm not getting that much at all. My bourbon journey said, you now owe Dusty Dan 5 cents that you mentioned his name without approval. All right, I'll tell Dusty. I'll send him the 5 cents. Yeah, 50 cent. That's right, Joseph. 50 cent. Let's see here. Sorry, I was looking in the chat. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get ready to taste this this blend of the Booker's Country Ham and the where is it? The Sip a While. And while I'm getting ready to do that, any final questions you guys have for the channel or about me in particular, if you have any, let me know. I'm trying to think of any other announcements I have. So my next full review will be this new Booker's. And as you could tell, it's going to be pretty damn good because I'm really loving this one. Also, I'm working on a double bass. Somebody wanted me to put, if you guys have any ideas for double bass real quick, throw them in the chat. The one I got that I'm actually pretty interested in doing is Ancient Age, the 10-star versus Blanton's, which I think was kind of a cool idea. So what do you guys think of that one? Cap and make it happen at the, do you still need me to keep hunting for more French oak for a spare? Cap and make it happen. Yeah, if you find any more, let me know because that shit is delicious. I love it. My bourbon journey, Steven Sussman, when are you getting that Weller foolproof pick? So I'm getting asked that like every day. And I will say from what I was told, it's supposed to come to the store in October. So that's when it's supposed to hit. So, and I just so you guys know, I will be giving away a bottle on one of my live streams. So, so yeah, keep an eye on for that. I will be giving away a bottle of my Weller foolproof pick. I was actually, I think, Jim, if you're still in the chat, did we land on it? Because I did it with Jim Shannon from my bourbon from Bourbon Road. Jim, did they accept a name, or did we come up with a name for it? Are they putting the Mash and Drum on the label? I don't remember hearing anything about it. What do you guys think? Or what did they think about it, Jim? Anything? Captain Make It Happen says, well, I'm in. Laugh out loud. Not really. I think I've worn out my luck. Yeah, Captain, your luck was stellar for like 3 weeks straight. Joseph Brazo said, double bass, 2 crappiest bourbons you've had. Oh, God. Jim Shannon says early October. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, early October will be, I'm hoping to get a case of it, depending on how much they get or if they allow me to buy a case. Jim Shannon, have we landed on a name for that bottle yet? Do we know? Just wondering. Karen Ford says, remind us of the store name again for the Weller. It is called Liquor Outlet, and it's in Shelbyville, Kentucky. Captain Make It Happen said, Jephthah versus White Walker. Jim Shannon says the name is going to be the Kraken. Ah, very nice. Is that because it's so salty? Yes, I get it. Very nice. William Davalar says, bring down to Texas. If it hits early enough before I leave to Texas, I will try to get it and bring it down, guys. I'm not sure. Joseph Brazo says, foolproof, like literally like a fool. I think for the fools that buy it for $500 and $600 in the secondary will definitely be fools. So Captain Make It Happen says, oh, speaks to my love, crafty and soul. I love that name, Jim. That's awesome. Joseph Brazow says, Jim, Kraken is already taken by a rum. That's true. It is taken by a rum. So, yeah, so it's going to be the Weller Foolproof, the Kraken. So, and I think I mentioned because it's so salty, it was like this salted caramel bark type flavor profile to it. It was called the Kraken. So that's a really cool name for it. So again, mixing these two together just made it more like vanilla extract. This is like my grandma's like baking like spice cabinet with all the vanilla in it. Let's go for a sip. Oh. Just spell it with a C. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so good. Those two go really well together. But it's just like kind of taking the best of both of the bottles and intensifying it. So it's really good. So in conclusion tonight, guys, if you happen to see the Booker's Country Ham anywhere, if you're a Booker's fan, I would implore you to grab one because it's really, really good. Boone County bourbon, if you see this anywhere, hold off. Not ready yet. It's okay. Not great. It needs more time. It's a little bit grassy. If you're in Texas, Balcones French Oak, that's a freaking must pick up. Witherspoon, this one, if you happen to come across Barrel 1175, then it's a really sweet, nice Texas whiskey. I really like it, but I am actually not sure what the price point on this was. This was sent to me, so I don't know. My bourbon journal said you should blend every Booker's you have together. That's a lot of Booker's, Scott. Jesus, man. Joseph, yeah, Kraken. Oh, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Just kind of spell it differently. Okay, so as far as merchandise goes, guys, for those of you that saw the shirts on my Patreon page, I am going to be printing those next month, starting to get created. So be on the lookout for those. Oh, Karen before said totally sold on the Country Ham. Loved sip a while and wish I had a backup. So the Country Ham is a go. Catherine B. Ford, absolutely. Get the Country Ham. I think you'll really, really like it. Any of you out there. The Bourbon Buddies, that would be like a Booker's party dancing in the old mouth. Yes. So as I said, I'm working on the prizes also for the for Blendageddon. So guys, get your blends in if you're working on anything. Christine Daisy is the one to beat. She is the champion with the Thieving Vicar from the last one. And let's see. Yeah, for merchandise, I'm working on those shirts. I'm working on some really cool Mash and Drum hats. I'm also working on some more of those flasks that Christine got in the championship. So those are upcoming. Like I said, my next review will probably be the Booker's. This Booker's Country Ham. After that, I think I'm going to do the Ancient Age versus Blanton's, which will be a kind of a cool one. I'm also working on the next video. And I haven't really announced this yet, but I'm going to be working on a top 5 go-to available rye whiskeys, and kind of breaking down all my my favorite ryes that I think are really good and available in that you can find in pretty much any liquor store. So definitely working on that. Joseph Brazo said, "Finally a hat to replace that fucking Ohio State hat." Well, Joseph, I mean, from what I hear, Ohio State has kind of dominated Michigan the last few years, so I'm probably sure that's probably why you hate them so much, and I get it. I walked into work last year. I'll tell you guys a quick story before we sign off. So everyone here always talks about the Ohio State-Michigan game, which is always, the last game of the year. They have such a ridiculous rivalry. They hate each other to death. Obviously, as you see Joseph with his brazen chats, he fucking hates him, and I get it. But so what happened is the game went on, and Michigan last year was actually favored pretty heavily. Well, I don't know about heavily. Joseph, you can correct me on this, but from what their records were and how they played throughout the season, Michigan was favored over Ohio State to win that game, and a lot of the Michigan fans and the news media were kind of all over this, like, oh, Michigan's gonna finally they're gonna freaking kick the shit out of Ohio State this year, and then Ohio State literally just freaking floored Michigan. And I remember walking into work that day where there's a lot of Ohio State alumni where I work, obviously, and there was literally Ohio State shit all over the place. I had heard about the game, and I heard that Ohio State won, but I didn't realize to the extent of how much they won. And I forgot what the final score was, but it was pretty brutal, and it was ridiculous. So I kind of I went to my director, and I'm like, "What happened with the game over the weekend?" Because I saw that everyone's kind of doing their Ohio State shit everywhere. She's like, and my boss is a huge Ohio State fan. She went to Ohio State. She has tickets to every game. She gets alumni tickets with her mom, and they go to every home game if they can. And I mean, she was literally freaking out that day. And this was the day. This was Monday, so it was 2 days after the game, and she was still freaking out on how 62-39. Holy crap! Seeing Scott too. Take care, Ben. Nice seeing you, man. Scott is Wisconsin, and he hates Ohio State too. We've talked about it. So Moschan, so 62-39. Yeah, it was rough, but like I said, I'm not huge into Ohio State. I like the red, and that's pretty much the extent of my fandom. Karen before said, "Hey, the SEC is where it's at." Joseph Brazo says, "I respect Wisconsin. Fuck Ohio State." Damn, Joseph, you got a lot of hatred about Ohio State. Jeez. Well, he's a Michigan guy, so I get it. So, all right. So with that, guys, I think I'm going to kind of jump off here. It's already 24 minutes past where I wanted to go. This was a ton of fun, guys, tonight. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more of these for you Patreons, and I really appreciate the support, my chance to connect with you. I'll be posting some quick reviews on Patreon soon just for you guys. So look out for that. And go head over to the Bourbon Junkies. Go see what they're doing. And like I said, just thank you so much for the support. I love you guys. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be going live. I think Swami from Malta, Montreal is going to come on with me. We're going to be tasting a lot of different stuff. He got Elijah. He's got not Elijah Craig. He's got the Colonel Taylor Barrel Proof. So we're going to taste that. We're also going to be tasting the Bruichladdich Black Art 6.1. So we're going to be tasting some really cool whiskeys tomorrow, just talking some different topics. So hopefully I'll see you in the chat tomorrow, guys. And like I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share with. Thank you to all my patrons out there, and I appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Take care. Country ham, do it. Take care, guys. Appreciate it.